Welcome. Another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you. If you hold on one second. Ah, thank you. I'm back. And I'm glad you're back too. For many reasons, including the reason that, as you know, this sadhana, this year-long sadhana, will be coming to an end soon. And we are in chapter 17, almost the end of the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna is starting to receive some interesting indications from Krishna. Like when we get to the start of chapter 18, we'll notice that Krishna is going to summarize everything he said, which is kind of a way of saying, all right, we're almost done here. So, yes, we're almost done here. And I thought today might be an interesting time to start acknowledging it. Um, Fall is done here, winter is moving in, other changes are happening. Some of you have reached out and said things such as, what am I going to do when this is done? Or how can I keep going with it? Or even sometimes, I can't find the video of the day. What do I do? Which part of that response is something that Samatvam, as taught through the Bhagavad Gita, is meant to address. Because as we go through life already and coming up, there are going to be things we need to let go of, things we'd love to see continue that just can't, or at least can't in the same form. They could evolve. Like Krishna's relation with Arjun. Krishna has been Arjun's best friend and spiritual advisor, stuck by him through many difficulties, and is providing life-changing advice. But Krishna has a kingdom of his own he needs to go back to. Arjun knows this. And even though they will spend a lot of time together in the future after this battle, it's not going to ever be quite the same. And speaking of after the battle, a lot of people reading the Gita or studying the Gita stop with the end of the Gita. And then what happens to the characters in it? I'll tell you one brief story. There are so many stories, but it is about letting go. So this war, as I've mentioned, is a civil war, and Arjuna has to kill off his cousins to regain the throne that was usurped by his uncle, Dhritarashtra. And spoiler alert, Arjuna and his brothers win and get the kingdom back. And as I've mentioned before, instead of torturing Dhritarashtra or anything, they take good care of him because he is their uncle and they honor that family relationship. They also take very good care of his wife. Dhritarashtra, representing the ego, was born blind. And his wife, Gandhari, was born sighted, yet upon learning she was going to marry a blind person, bound up her eyes and never saw the world again with them. There can be a lot of symbolism in that. The part of us that's willing to turn a blind eye to what's going on so that the ego continues to get its way. And then there's Arjun's mother, Kunti, who has stood by her sons through thick and thin. After the war, these three go into the woods to do an end-of-life practice, to prepare to let go of life. And this causes much sorrow. The people, the subjects, even Arjun and his brothers weep and follow these people into the woods. They're like, we're old. The time has come. You've taken over the kingdom. My goodness, Arjun is probably, if you count the timeline in the Mahabharata, probably in his mid-50s, probably about my age by now. It's time to let this generation take over. And the old goes into the forest, does their sadhana, even though people keep visiting and wanting them back, they stay out there until the end, which could be a whole nother story of how their end comes about. But the idea that the old has to be let go even Even when we know the new has to come, sometimes it can be so hard. And this can be practice for all the other much harder letting go we'll have to do in our lives. So today's practice is dedicated to anybody who's in the process of saying goodbye. This is the beginning of the end, my friends. Or is it? Is it the evolution to something new? We'll decide. We'll figure that out. But remember the idea of Samatvam. Can you be the same while this is going on and then after it ends? Can you be the same? Can you be the same if you can't find my video every day? Can you be the same? Like if something happens for the tech and I can't show up, like Arjun has to be himself without his best friend Krishna at his side all the time. Well, Oliver will get a chance to experience that as I go outside. Whee! Another chilly, rainy day. All right, friends, time for our contemplation. And today I invite you to contemplate what is in your life that you need to let go, but you still cling to. And why is the clinging? What in your life do you need to let go, but you still cling to, and why the clinging? Let's contemplate for 5 minutes. You need to let me go for 5 minutes, little guy. No meowing. Oi. We're back. Another day together, which I treasure. I don't know if you could see anything on the video, but a bunch of birds were flying right by me, like over my shoulder. I could hear their wings from south to north. I wonder what that brings. I wonder what today brings. I wonder what upcoming week, month, year, millennium will bring. To get there, we have to let go of where we are now. Until I get to be in your company again, I'll be thinking of you.